Now, how do you see these organizations working through the crisis that can happen when a performance-oriented issue occurs?
Well, this can definitely be a problem in many organizations today. In fact, I've met with more than a few customers who have told me that when they have a problem, they convene everybody into a room, and they often call it the war room, in analogy to maybe movies that we've all seen. But the irony of the fact is that in that room, there actually is a small war unfolding where people from different teams have been called in to work on the problem, but again, they're pointing the finger at each other. And another term that you might hear frequently used is something like blame storming, where people are there's a lot, I think, getting contentious in terms of whose fault is it, or who should look into it first, and who really owns the problem at that point. So what we're really seeing, I think, in organizations like that is that they're at a certain level on the maturity curve. And there is a maturity curve with respect to APM, or Application Performance Management. And depending on where you are on that curve, you will handle problems in a more or less smooth manner. And I think that today, probably most of the organizations that we encounter are still pretty early along that curve, and they may have adopted some tools and some processes. And really, maturity is about not just the tools and which vendors you have put in place and what management software you have. It's more than that. It's also the processes that you have put in place to utilize those capabilities. So people have to be assigned responsibilities, and they have to know their roles. And today we probably see, I think, a very small number of customers that are in a very mature position on that curve, maybe say under 10%. But the good news is that many organizations are starting to get their act together, and they're starting to make decisions about putting processes in place, about acquiring the tools, and about deciding which tools and which equipment people need depending on their role in order to fulfill the promise of APM.